This documentary focuses on the lost secrets of the Royal Dutch Submarine Air Force. Lost in the archives was this never-before-seen footage and interviews. This shows us the struggles and victories of the Dutch over the Germans in World War II. This website chronicles the fate of all the German U-boats in World War II. This is proof positive that the Submarine Air Force was the biggest threat to the German submariners during the entire war.
The first time we went out to meet our U-boat, U-22, das Unterseeboot. Dann sind wir auf der Nordsee gesegelt und hatten an viele Engländer und Amerikaner versunken.
It was late 1941. On the shores of the Zuider Zee, they would launch their me-boats out to meet the pending doom of the German U-boats.
The U-boats had their problems when all of a sudden the Dutch came along. The Dutch came up with a new invention, the me-ship.
Shown here, the earliest footage known of the Dutch going out to sea, then getting last-minute change of orders. The captain of this me-boat 069, his name was Klaas Eleveld. Here he's shown in his third attempt to go out and bring down some of the German U-boats. And here's a me-boat leaving the shores of Den Helder, off on a journey in the North Sea to hunt for the dreaded German U-boats. The journey will be long, it will be arduous, but a me-boat 069, captained by Klaas Eleveld, will do all that it can to support the war effort for the Dutch and the Allies. Here is their journey, and this is their story.
She was still out there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for another target.
Searching for the U-boats on the me-boats was the task of the observer. This is what they were looking for. A periscope just coming out, breaking the surface of the water. It was the captain of the U-boat's job to keep a lookout for targets. As soon as the periscope would surface, the me-boat captain would immediately cover the lens of the periscope with watercolored paint, thus obscuring the view and giving the captain the thought that they were continually underwater, even though the periscope was now above the surface of the water.
The me-ship really plays havoc with our U-boats. And we didn't know most of the time that we weren't underwater anymore.
The U-boat captain would order the U-boat to raise by 10 meters in order to get the periscope out of the water. Unknown to him, he was already above the surface. It was during the surfacing orders that the me-boats would contact the Air Force and order the U-boat strike aircraft. The U-boat kept rising on each consecutive order, sometimes to a height of as much as 300 meters above the surface of the water.
Well, the captain kept saying, up with the periscope, up with the periscope. I knew we had a problem. While I was trying to tell Mr. Capitan Schultz not to keep telling me to go up, I've heard the airplanes humming around. Well, then I realized that we were way out of the water.
The aircraft, now on their way, would find an easy target in the skies. The German U-boats never knew of their peril, hundreds of meters above the ocean's surface. The U-boats did not realize the situation until they heard the squadrons of aircraft and felt the machine gun fire impacting on the sides of the U-boat. With such poor maneuverability in the skies, the only way down was a quick descent, and this, of course, had disastrous implications.
We were right shut out of the sky. And after the war was lost, I found out, and I believe it was Klaas Eleveld who has been part of this sinking or lowering of our U-boat out of the sky into the water. It was Klaas Eleveld had then later been promoted, I found out, to be the Admiral of the Me-boat division. It was Klaas that shut us down, I'm sure now, because he was one of us renowned #1 U-boat sinkers from the Air Force of the Dutch.